Hello, YouTube. All right, so today I am going to talk about a subject I keep getting emails and questions about, which is sleep paralysis, demon attacks. I keep getting a lot of. Sorry, I'm just fussing with my stuff here. That's not what I wanted to do. So we're going to be talking about that. And the question I want to first take a look at is what do the ancients say about what we would call sleep paralysis? What did they think was happening? Well, this is something that is very common, and I don't know anybody who hasn't experienced it. And again, what we're talking about is that you are asleep and you're usually dreaming, and very often it's a challenging dream, it's a frightening dream. And so in the dream, you're wanting to scream, you're wanting to yell, you're wanting to run, you're wanting to fight. I mean, how many dreams have you had? I've had a lot where you have to stand and fight and you can't move because your arms won't go. And the effort in the dream to scream or to yell or to fight or to move or to run or whatever it is, that then creates a scenario where you start to wake up, and as you wake up, you go through this experience of feeling like you're being held down. Sometimes you're being choked. Sometimes something is, you can feel it on your chest, pressing down on you, maybe covering your face. You can maybe see something hovering above you, or you can see things in the room, or shadow people, or things like that. And then when you become fully awake, sometimes by screaming or yelling or moving or kicking or something, you finally break free of it, and then it's gone. But there's this lingering fear that just stays with you. And you can feel that something is in the room with you, something is watching you, and it becomes very challenging to go back to sleep. So this is very common. I've had it no shortage of times in my life, and so I want to talk to you about it. There is an old English manual, it's a magical manual, an old English manual about how to fight what they call dwarves. And the name of the manual is called Against a Dwarf. But it's in Old English, with dwergam. That's the Old English for against a dwarf. And it talks about how to fight against a dwarf that is that is attacking somebody in their sleep. And so they had this belief that it was done by dwarves. And I really like that. I think that even though we may not understand that, we don't use those words. It sounds like some little sprite with a pointy hat, or some short guy with an axe and a Scottish accent. That's what we think dwarves are, but that's not what our ancestors believed that dwarves were. Dwarves had all kinds of different roles in mythology. We talked about that when we talked about dragons, that sometimes before somebody became a dragon in European mythology, they started out as a dwarf. It wasn't a good thing. And the dragon in European mythology was not a good thing. Although a lot of people now want to turn them into these good things, and that's okay because we're changing. And as I said last time, Chinese see dragons very differently. So, our understandings are changing. But so, point being that our ancestors did have this experience, and they thought it was caused by malicious dwarves. Dwarves in Norse mythology are sometimes malicious, and you have to be careful of them, but they're magical. And they can create magical tools, but they live under the ground. What that means is that they live underneath three-dimensional reality. They live underneath conscious awareness. So this is the realm that you're going to get attacked, if you're going to get attacked by a dwarf, it's going to happen in your sleep, because that would be one of the places that they would inhabit beneath conscious awareness. We could also make the deduction that since we know what dreams are, and sleep has a strong connection with the unconscious mind and the subconscious mind, then we could say this is the realm in the mind of the person where dwarves exist. So I want to, if somebody wants to ask me, are dwarves real? Is sleep paralysis real? Are demons that attack you in your sleep real? The answer isn't important. It's not important whether they are real or whether they're part of your psychological baggage. What is important is that your experience is that they're real. And that's more important than anything else. So let's just start from the assumption, people have asked me what it is before, and there is a medical explanation for sleep paralysis, which I'll share with you again. The medical explanation for sleep paralysis is that if we didn't have, and animals have this too, it's not just humans, but when you dream, you think you're running around and your volition says, let's walk here, let's pick this up, let's move, let's run, let's hit, let's fight. And if your brain wasn't disengaged from your muscles and your nerves, it would be very dangerous. People would get up and walk through, plate glass windows and, walk off of cliffs and, all that kind of stuff. And so in order to survive, the body had to create a mechanism to be able to dream without moving. So it paralyzes the body. When you sleep, and every time you sleep and every time you dream, your body is in a state of paralysis. The only problem is when you are having a fearful dream and you wake up from it. When you are waking up from the dream, you can't move, and then you have this experience of being in paralysis. But then what do we do with the experience that people have? And if you ask them, they will say it's absolutely real. Something was holding me down, something was choking me, something was suffocating me, something was, whatever it is. I saw it, I was awake, I could see it with my eyes open, I could see it in the room. What do you tell those people? Do you say, oh, it's just your imagination? And what do you do if it keeps happening over and over and over again? Just telling somebody it's all in your mind doesn't make it go away, doesn't make it any less frightening. So there are ways to combat it. And so let's just assume for argument's sake that it's what you think it is. That it is some entity that is attacking you. Now, let's continue down that thought process, and let's go back to the ancient Anglo-Saxon, Old English magical healing practice of against a dwarf. Now, I'm not going to get into that because it was during this period where the Anglo-Saxons were converting to Christianity, so they were merging Christianity with ancient traditions like dwarves. They still use the word dwarves, but dwarves and elves and all the spirits that they used to have in their indigenous spirituality was now being replaced with the word demon. So that's where the mind was going. That's why for them a dwarf was a demon, because anything that was part of the ancient religion was seen as being evil and demonic. But there's some truth to it. And the truth is that everything in your unconscious mind is manifested in your reality. So whatever your reality is, I've got a pretty good reality here. I like my reality. That means that on an unconscious level, I must have some stability in there for me to be able to intend having the prosperity and the happiness and the health that I have. In fact, I just came from surfing. I love it here, man. The waves are beautiful. The water is beautiful. It's just paradise. But what if you have poverty and illness and craziness and dysfunction and all that other stuff? What about that? What about that? So we have to understand that if we can take full responsibility for our unconscious reality, which is where the dwarves live, if there are any demons, if during sleep paralysis a demon is attacking you, that demon lives inside your unconscious mind. It's not coming from somewhere else. Because if it was coming from somewhere else, it would attack you throughout, the rest of the day. Now there are some people that happens to them. They get attacked during their waking hours. If you're getting attacked only in your sleep, that means that this is where this entity is living. And so when you're asleep, that's when you travel to its dimension and it can do things to you. Again, I'm not trying to take the side of is it real or is it imagined, is it all psychological or it doesn't matter, because your experience is that it is real. And so I'm here to tell you that you can do something about it. You can fight them. The thing that you have to do is twofold. You have to be able to shift your vibrational energy to a higher dimension. The best way to understand this is the way that Carlos Castaneda explained it. Now, of course, I need to make sure that you understand that Carlos Castaneda was a fraud. He made everything up, but he also was a brilliant writer, and he definitely did channel some truths. He stole information from other things and created his own stuff, but he did channel some truths. And he came up with this idea that our reality that we experience is connected to the vibration of our perception. And that through what he called sorcery, or being a warrior, which meant a spiritual warrior, and doing certain disciplines and certain habits and taking responsibility for everything that you think and what you do, and learning how to shift your reality through your discipline and through your conscious decisions on how to think and how to react to life. When you do that, what ends up happening is that your vibration will shift. And when that vibration shifts, you can enter a completely different reality. And so for him, he would say that all realities are right here. It's just, you're sharing this three-dimensional earth human reality. And if you had the command of your emotions and your mind and your intention, he was big on intention. If you had command of this, you could choose to shift your perception, and you would be in a completely different world, a completely different universe, without having to go anywhere. So with that idea, those beings exist. Dwarves, demons, reptilians, they all have their own vibrational place that they live. Your experience of what's around you is based on where your vibration is. Your vibration will be directly linked to the beliefs and intentions that you choose to have. It's very important you understand this. So this is why I say to people who are victims, and people talk about, their whatever it is, you're being abducted by aliens, you're being attacked by reptilians, you live in a world where your government can cause you harm, where women can hurt you, where demons can attack you, where people are unsafe and mean. I mean, it doesn't matter what level it is. I'm not going to disagree with you. I absolutely believe you when you say that. But it's because of what you choose to intend and believe, because that will change the vibration, which will change the immediate surroundings that you live in. So that's why I'm not going to argue with somebody if they say, no, it's not just some physiological thing that's preventing me from sleepwalking. I really was being held down and choked and all that. Okay, I'll believe you. So the first thing is you got to change that. You got to be willing, you know, the idea of taking full responsibility, the idea of being a warrior is the first thing that has to happen. You have to take full responsibility and become a warrior. If you're not willing to take full responsibility for everything in your life, just give up now. Again, there's some people that have been following me for a while, and I think what happens is the only thing they do is they come onto the live Q&A and they want to ask me questions. I don't think they go to my websites and do the exercises, or even go on to this YouTube channel and search for the meditations and the practices and do them, because if you do them, your vibration will shift. But so sometimes there are just people that I don't even answer them anymore because they're not getting it, they're not applying it. So as we go further and further, I'll get deeper and deeper into the energy shifts in the body and how it shifts your vibration, so that when you sleep, not only will you not be attacked, but you can actually in your sleep go and attack them. This is something that I've done, where I've been able to get a level of power so that in my sleep I go into their world and I attack them. So if you want that, that's a possibility as well. This is a question and answer. I'm assuming there's going to be some new people here that I don't know. This is how this works. This is a question and answer. It's not a free-for-all. I appreciate it if you do not type in anything unless you're asking a question. Somebody asked why. The reason is because I have to scroll through all of your comments and I miss people's questions. A question is you actually have an honest question that you want to ask me because you think I have the answer to something you need to know. It's not an excuse for you to pretend to ask a question and make a statement, or, you know, throw out a criticism. I'll block you if you do that kind of stuff. All right, so let me see if there are any questions here. Francine Lawson, if you do have a question, write the word question, because otherwise I'll miss it, and then you can type in whatever you want. And so Francine must be new to the channel. Can they jump from person to person? No. All right, so that's just a statement. It's not a question. Johnny 30806, yeah, I know you don't know it, but I'd prefer if we didn't have the back and forth and we just kept it to questions, please. Yeah, okay, yeah. Thanks. You guys are having a great conversation with each other. Congratulations. Evan Price, question. I have been doing the 40-day mantra ritual and I want to do the celestial Qigong as well. Is there an order I should do them in? What a perfect and brilliant answer. So that's one of the things. One of the things that you can do to take control of the realm of your unconscious mind is to do a mantra ritual. Now, you don't see it here, but if you go to astrology, so if you replace immortality with the word astrology, astrology.thunderwizard.com, if you get a Vedic astrological reading from me, I will be able to see in your chart exactly what your vibrational tuning is. We're all tuned to a different vibrational frequency, which is ourself. There's a mantra for you that if you do it, it will give you direct access to your unconscious mind and allow you to hack in there and change all of the programming. If you are being attacked in your sleep, it's because of your unconscious programming. If you go in there, you can fix that. Celestial Qigong, which is here at spirittao.com. This is an actual, very simple physical exercise that you can do, postures and things like that you can do, that will shift the vibration of your energy to a point that those beings can't reach you. So this person is asking about doing both of these things. And yes, the order is this. You do the celestial Qigong first. And then you go directly from the celestial Qigong. You don't close down. And you go straight into your mantra. Now the mantra is dealing with Kundalini energy. The celestial Qigong is working with life force or Qi energy. But they do stimulate each other. And when you use them together properly, they expand the powers of each hugely. So, if celestial Qigong is at 100, you had the mantra, you're now at 5,000. That's how much more intense the energy becomes. And then when you're done with the mantra, then do the close down, where you take your hands and you put it over your navel. If you're new to the channel, you can type in the word Qigong in my channel, not on YouTube, but in my channel, type the word Qigong, and you can learn how to do that, and I talk about closing down. All right, let's see what else. Juan Carlos, this is a question and answer only. I don't care about your thoughts about this, that, or the other thing, because it takes away from people who are actually asking a question, so I'm not going to read that. Naturally Nathan, question, can these demons put implants in someone? No. Are you listening to me? I'm telling you that they exist on a vibrational level in your unconscious mind. Your physical body is in another vibrational place. So no, they can't put implants in your body. You have to listen to what I'm telling you. I understand you've probably heard that kind of stuff. You've heard that chakras are implants and all that kind of nonsense. That's total garbage. If you're new to my channel, what is helpful for you to know is that there are some base beliefs that you need to adopt in order to get the most out of what I teach. The first one is drop all fear. So the idea that something can physically implant you, like a demon can physically implant you with something to control you, that is coming from fear. And if you live in that, that's what you will experience. But the answer is no. They don't have the power to physically implant things into you. They do have the power if you let them and invite them in. This is the other part. You don't realize you're inviting them in. If you invite them in, then they can influence your energy and influence your thoughts, and they can come and influence your dreams and things like that. But again, the point is that they're not doing it because you're powerless. They're doing it because you are choosing to think along lines that weaken you and actually invite it. It's like going into a nasty neighborhood and pulling out, a wad of $10,000 and counting it in front of the homeless people and in front of the criminals. You're asking for somebody to come and mess with you. You can't do that and then later complain, I was a victim. Yeah, well, don't be so stupid and walk around and do that and invite that. Now, you do it in different ways than that. And you do it in the unconscious. You don't know that you do it. That's why it's important to first and foremost change your intention and take full responsibility. And then change the vibration of your energy, which will will bring this cascading effect of changing your intention and changing the energy, which changes the intention, changes the energy, and it keeps rising like that. All right, so let's see what else. All right, so naturally, Nathan, you want to know about the subconscious programming. So listen again to what I say. I didn't say subconscious. I did use the word a couple times. I said unconscious. The vast majority of time that people use the word subconscious, they mean unconscious. Unconscious means you are not aware of it. It is the deepest part of your mind. It's like 90% of your mind. Everything that comes out in your world is coming from your unconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is the part of your mind that has like your social security number, your driver's license, things that you're not thinking about, but if you choose to, you can dip into those files and bring that out. The unconscious, you can't choose. You're not even aware that it's there. Like right now, what are the cells in the lining of your stomach doing? Do you have any awareness? Can you no, it's happening completely without your conscious awareness. It's like that. So the unconscious programming, here's how it works. You are programmed by your parents when you're infant. Energetically, you are programmed by their unconscious. Infants are pure unconsciousness, meaning the unconscious mind. They don't have a conscious mind yet. They don't have words. They don't have higher conscious thinking. They are pure intuition. That's why if you're in the room with a baby and somebody is feeling really nasty thoughts, the baby will start crying. If you're feeling really happy, the baby will start smiling and giggling because they're responding to the energy that's vibrating from you. So even if you walk around, like you're this great person, but if you have these fears and you have self-hatred, and for instance, the easy one is money. Let's say that your father was I use this example all the time. Let's say your father's a priest and he believes that money is evil. Even if he doesn't say it, he's going to vibrate it. As an infant, you pick up on that and you start to create these programs in your unconscious mind. And then when you become an adult and you consciously want to make money, you won't be able to, because your unconscious programming will be that money is evil and you can't do that. So the fastest way to do that is to get a mantra that is tuned directly to your vibration. And for that, you go here to astrology.thunderwizard.com. The other link I have here at spirittao.com, that's an energetic thing that you can also do to shift the unconscious programming. And what you do there is you do the exercises and you listen to what starts to come to your conscious awareness. Some fear may come up, some anger, some pain. These are things that are rising to the surface that you're releasing, but you have to become conscious of them first. So naturally, Nathan, if you're new to the channel, come and subscribe, hit the bell button, binge watch my videos. Put some time and effort into watching my videos because I talk about this all the time. It's the main focus of my channel, how to overcome your unconscious programming. Bill C, question. What method or ritual do you suggest for communicating with Odin? There is a specific chant, incantation, but I don't share it publicly because it's too powerful. But there are things that you can do. One of the things you can do is you can go out into any place like if you're connected to nature anywhere, you can go out under the full moon, and you can ask to communicate with Odin. I've done some things like, I used to live in Idaho for 10 years, and we lived at one point across the street from a house that had stables. People were like that out there. Idaho's the Wild West, and so people have their homes and they have a barn and they have horses. And I would be out in my front meditation garden that I created, and I was talking to Odin. And every time I would ask Odin a question, the horses would do something. They'd be completely quiet until I asked Odin a question, and then they would whinny or stomp their foot or something like that. And that is actually an ancient tradition. If you read Tacitus, 2,000 years ago, he says that the Germanic tribal people, the priests would take unblemished white horses, and they'd have their own little place in a sacred wood, and they would ask the gods questions, and they would watch what the horses did, and by that they would interpret the gods' communications. And Odin rides a horse, so if you get a chance to do anything around horses, that's another way to do it. If you're really interested in knowing that, I'd have to take a look at your astrological chart and see if it's safe for you to do the ritual that Odin gave to me. Zero Zay question, what is Loki weakness? Okay, so if you're going to write a question, the other thing that I ask you to do is actually write a question. Write a question that is going to be understood. Use punctuation. I know it's tough if you're on a phone. I understand it's challenging, but the two most important things in life is to pay attention and put effort. So pay attention and put effort and write a question. What is Loki weakness? What are you asking me? Are you saying, what is Loki, weakness? What is Loki's weakness? You have to be clear. I can't answer your question if I don't understand what it means. And I assume that your question is important. So write it so that you know that I know what you're asking, so that when I answer your question, you get what you need. Johnny 30806, as I've said, that's not how this works. This isn't a give and take. It's not your job to answer questions. If they want to know what you think, they'll come onto your channel and ask you. So I'm going to put you in a timeout. When you're ready to follow the rules, I'm happy to let you ask questions. Until then, have respect for how this works. Thomas Cornelius, question: is it true that demons are more likely to get at you when you are under the influence of alcohol? Yes, absolutely, 100%. Not just alcohol, any mind-altering chemicals, THC, anything that opiates. I'll give you something that happened to me. This was quite interesting and scary. So, when was this? 2.5 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. I had an inguinal hernia, and I went to go get surgery for it. So it's a fairly serious. I mean, it's an outpatient thing, but it's fairly serious. And I had to go get some pain medication, and I was in an Uber, and I was on the phone to my girlfriend or somebody, and I was saying, they didn't give me the pain medication. I have to go and get it. So, which was kind of a drag because I was still coming off of the medication from the operation. Anyway, so the Uber driver says, "Are you going to go get whatever the medication was?" It was an opiate medication for pain, and I said, "Yeah, I'm going to go do that." And now I normally don't take any drugs, any alcohol. I don't smoke, nothing, not even caffeine. But I'm not stupid. That's seriously painful stuff. And so he started telling me this experience of he was taking opiates and he saw demons and blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, what the hell's going on? Well, so sure enough, I go and I get the medication, and I take only half of the prescribed medication because I just wanted to just take the edge off. I want to take as little as possible. But sure enough, as soon as I took that half pill and I started falling asleep, I saw in my room this headless shadow standing, in a suit, but headless. And it was black, standing at the head of my bed looking at me. It scared the crap out of me. And I believe that is, that would have been a representation of the god of death, Ketu. Ketu is headless. In Vedic astrology, and I think that was, Ketu's way of saying this stuff is nasty. Be careful. You're dealing, don't mess around with this stuff. And it's horrible. So any mind-altering chemical, what ends up, the main thing that happens is that your aura, which is your protection, is gone. THC especially. If you're doing THC, your aura is getting completely, totally nixed. It goes all up into your head, and all the garbage, like just outside of your aura, there's all kinds of garbage out there. And when your aura gets pulled into your body, it pulls all the garbage in the air into your body. And your head expands like a balloon, so you think you're full of energy, but in reality, it's just all of your aura is in your head. But your actual physical body is now open. This is the same thing that happens when people do ayahuasca, when they do all that stuff, and that's why you should only do those kinds of things in the actual tradition with a true shaman who can see your aura and can tell you whether or not it'll benefit you. And he has to do the prayers and the drumming and the meditation beforehand, during, and afterward to keep your aura protected. Because if you don't do that, you're cracking your aura wide open, and all kinds of things will come climbing in there. Now, I heard something which I found really interesting. This was a woman who had a near-death experience. And she flew around and she went to a bar. This is out of her body. She's flying around, the city. And she goes to a bar and she can see alcoholic people who are drinking. And what is happening is that there are ghosts of people who died of alcoholism who are climbing inside the aura of people who are drinking and making them drink more. So to answer your question, yeah, alcohol can really make you a target for negative entities. Is it okay to have 2 or 3 beers? Listen, if you're asking me, is it okay to have 2 or 3 beers? You're having more than 2 or 3 beers. you're wanting to get drunk. Because somebody who doesn't want to get drunk doesn't ask, is it okay for me to have 2 or 3 or 6 beers? So you're asking me this because you know you need to stop. Otherwise, you wouldn't ask me those kinds of questions. You obviously don't feel comfortable. I personally don't have a moral thing. You can drink as much as you want. Just don't do it around me. But is it okay? Of course it's okay. Is that something you want to do? That's really the question. I sometimes do when I get with my friends. Do you have to? You can't hang out with your friends and not drink 3 beers, 4 beers. Can you hang out with your friends and drink a 6-pack? Not a 6-pack. Sorry. Can you hang out with your friends and drink some tea, some kombucha? Or do you have to drink alcohol with your friends? That tells you a lot about what your relationship with your friends is. I had this experience. I did a lot of drugs and alcohol when I was in college. Not in college, in high school. And there was this guy who was my absolute best friend. And then I stopped drinking. We had nothing to talk about. Whatever we thought our connection was, it was only happening as a result of intoxication. We couldn't hang out when we were intoxicated. So, what kind of relationship are you having? Honestly, again, I don't care. This is just for you to think about. I personally don't care. I have no judgment about it. Moving on. I don't know how to pronounce that word, Charagayik. Question, what is the Akashic Records? So, have I ever taught that? I'm giving you a hard time because you come on my channel a lot. Have you read my books? Have you watched my videos? Have you taken any of these courses that I advertise? And then let me ask you, do I teach about the Akashic Records? Arabiya, if you have a question, please write the word question. Otherwise, I won't catch it sometimes. What if demons can help us to open to spirituality? Well, the other thing you have to understand is that your entire world is based on assumptions. If you assume that gravity is real, you will live your life according to that assumption, and I recommend that you do. If you and I don't share an assumption, then we're not talking about anything. So you just tried to shove an assumption down my throat. You want me to accept the assumption that demons can help you open to spirituality. Where did you get that idea? Or maybe something good will come out of their presence, as long as it's not evil. So what are we talking about? So you have a different definition of demon than I do. A demon is an evil entity. It is an entity of darkness. It is an entity that wants to feed off of your negativity. If you're talking about a spirit of wisdom or something like that, then we're not talking about demons. But the fact that you are attached to the word demon says that there's some part of you that you want to play around with that. So you can't play around with that and not get bitten. So first off, I'm not going to buy into your assumption that demons can be helpful. If there is an entity that can be helpful, it's not a demon. All right. I don't see any more questions. Arabia writes question afterwards. No, it doesn't work. It has to be done beforehand, not afterwards. All right. So you know how the rule is. If you're not asking me questions, I got to either talk more or share some stuff with you. So since we're talking about celestial Qigong, which is the power to be able to vibrate at a different level where these entities cannot go, what I'm saying is if you do the celestial Qigong for who knows how long, if you do it on a regular basis, if you are having sleep paralysis, this can cure it. That was my experience. So let me get to the celestial Qigong here. So before I do that, here's the other thing, guys. If you're new to the channel, if you ask a question, just stick with the question. You're asking for trouble with me if you then start to double down and want to argue or want to, because then I'm gonna pick apart what you do, because I've already smelled in you some denial. And if I smell that like a shark, I'm gonna go after it. So just be aware of that. Thomas Cornelius is going to double down and explain himself. He says, I actually don't drink. I did back in the day, but because I'm more worried about my soul and body, I was just wondering. But yes, I read dirt bikes. I mean, you ride, I'm assuming. You ride dirt bikes most of my life, and we did like to indulge. What does riding dirt bikes have to do with indulging? Okay. If you don't drink, why are you going to have 2 or 3 beers with your friends? You do drink. You have 2 or 3 beers when you're with your friends. That constitutes you do drink. And again, my thought is, why hang out with people like that if you don't drink? I mean, I wouldn't. I would say, listen, guys, I'm glad you're having fun. I'm not going to hang out with you because I don't want to drink beers. Go have fun. And if they can hang out with you and not drink beers, then you can, hold on to your integrity and hold on to who you are. It's okay. I mean, things change. Friends change. There was a time in your life you did that. You hung out with them. You did that. You're not like that anymore. So for me, you can do whatever the hell you want, but I would start looking for other people that vibrated on the level you want to be at. All right. So as I said, I'm going to talk to you about the celestial Qigong. And then if there are any questions, I'll come back. Hi, I'm Michael Denny of SpiritTao.com, and this is Celestial Negung Part 1. Celestial Negung means that this is power that is descending from heaven. And the idea is that we are all microcosms of the entire universe. You are the entire universe, and everything around you is simply the projection. You are looking within yourself. So when you look up into the stars at night, you're actually looking deep within your own body. When you look at the sun, the moon, the trees, the flowers, you're looking within yourself. This is Negung. And so what we're doing is we're simply releasing that infinity from within us. You are tapping into and releasing the power that is within our own body, our own cells, our own organs. So one of the reasons that I'm making this DVD is in the hope that the essence and the spirit of the teaching of the Shang Qing arts can be taught to the world at large, and it is my hope that the core essence of what the Shang Qing tradition is will continue to live and grow and evolve. As we move on into the Aquarian age, everything is changing. I don't need to tell you that. The entire world is changing, and what we are seeing now is that if people hold on to external things, they are very challenged in life. And those who are making the transition into the next phase that we are moving into in the world as we approach 2012, those who look within and find their source of strength from within, those are the people who are getting the most out of life and will make the transition into the next phase of evolution most comfortably. It is my belief that the Shang Qing tradition is one method whereby human beings can evolve into the next level of being in the most comfortable fashion and be able to take advantage of the rapid, energetic, mental, and spiritual changes that are going on in the world today. Whoa, what just happened? I guess we're done with that, aren't we? Okay, so I must not have been paying attention. That's what I get for surfing too much. Anyway, so I don't see any more questions here. Let's take a look at what's happening. Thomas Cornelius, here's a weird thing to say. What is this about? Okay, thanks. Love the channel. Take care of yourself, my friend. What? Do you have someplace to go? Did I offend you? What was that all about? It's kind of a weird passive aggressive sounding thing. All right, so I don't see any more questions. So we'll go ahead and call it a day. What I will do is tell you about, you've already seen the Celestial Qigong thing. Here's a question just popped up. Ben Wiener, a question. Have you found any legitimacy in runic palm reading? So Ben, are you familiar with my channel? Have you seen me ever talk about runic palm reading? I've never heard of it. What the heck is runic palm reading? So I can't answer the question because I don't know what the hell it is. All right, so what I'm going to recommend to you guys is that you take advantage of courses.thunderwizard.com before it's too late. I have been slashing prices because I needed to get ready to pay my taxes, which I am now ready to do, which means that as soon as I get that taken care of, I'm going to get rid of. I've already started raising prices on some things. The most valuable one, which I'm going to keep during this coronavirus lockdown intense thing, is the immortality package, which is right there, immortality.thunderwizard.com. I'm going to keep that one going because people started asking me about their health. What can they do to protect their health? And I started to put together a health package, which were, of the stuff that I have, what exercises and what things do they need to know in order to protect themselves. And I put together the package that, I already have that. It's this right here, the immortality package, immortality.thunderwizard.com. So I took $400 off of all of that. So that's going to go back up, as soon as my taxes are paid and this coronavirus thing, which is going to, listen, this coronavirus fear is going to work itself out. I believe, we'll see if I'm right. I think it's going to work itself out very quickly, a lot more quickly than we realize. Here in Australia, the news organizations are just as sensationalistic as they are in the US. And I keep seeing these, the government is going to shut down the borders for 6 months. And then I look and I listen, and that's not coming from anywhere. Somebody threw out 6 months and they grabbed onto it. But they haven't made any decisions about how long they're going to keep it. The economy would not survive. I just don't think so. I don't think this coronavirus thing is going to last for too much longer, maybe 4 weeks. And then I think things are going to start going back to normal. Looks like there are some questions here that popped up. All right, so Ben Vinar is going to explain what runic palm reading is. Runes in your palm. You mean you look at somebody's palm and you look at the lines and you look for the runes in there. And you're asking me again, do I find any legitimacy in it? And I've told you I don't know anything about it. But then you go on and say, I've been doing a palm viewing exercise and was surprised I had at least 7 runes in my hand. So you're not really asking me a question, are you? You're wanting to tell us your experience with runic palm reading. So again, that's why I want honest questions, because that really wasn't an honest question. But congratulations, it sounds like fun. I don't know anything about it. Charagala Kailachach. Question. Venus is my Ishta Devata. In case you don't know what that is, in Vedic astrology, there are 3 planets that govern your 3 minds, your conscious, your subconscious, and your unconscious mind. And so his conscious mind is being helped by the planet Venus and any deities associated with Venus, like Freya or Lakshmi, for example. My spiritual liberation. But I don't want to leave this realm. I want to experience my incarnation. So you're not understanding. That's just a phrase. The Ishta Devata guides you in your conscious mind as you go from this life to one, between now and you complain about, I hate this world and I want out. As soon as you leave your body and you work through your stuff, you go, oh my God, I've done everything. Nope, what's next? And then you won't have to come back. That is how it works. So you're not understanding what your Ishtadevata means. It's just a word, spiritual liberation. But I don't want to leave this realm. I want to experience my incarnation. So what do I talk to her about? So did you get a reading from me? Because I would have explained this to you. So it's frustrating me because that is something I really focus on. The way that the Ishtadevata works is that it wants to connect with your conscious mind. So that means that you communicate to it on a conscious level. So Venus, let's say Freya. So what you do is you spend your whole day pretending that Freya is walking next to you, is in the car with you, and you talk to her like she's your best friend. You vent. You talk about what you want in life. If you're going through struggles, you vent to her and you say, I really need help with this. Can you help me figure this out? I need help with this. And she'll drop little things in front of you on the way to make sure that your path in your waking life is smooth. So it frustrates me that you don't understand that, because that's the basic thing of what the Ishtadevata is. You should have gotten that from, if you got the reading from me, I don't know why you didn't get that. Yeah, Ben Vinar, let's see, did I? Yeah, just not interested in the little quips there. Don't appreciate that. David, is that a question? I'm really interested in your questions. Yeah, I know that. I know that he announced trade and travel ban to Europe. I know that. I don't know what you think you're telling me. I understand that. All right, so listen, I don't see any more questions here. I'm tired from surfing. So what I was going to say was, go to courses.thunderwizard.com and check that out. Before I go, I will talk about that and what I'm doing and what my plans are for this channel going forward. And again, if you're coming onto the channel and all you're doing is watching the videos, I welcome that. You'll get a hell of a lot more out of it if you actually do the exercises that I teach, even on the free channel. If you do the exercises that I teach on the free channel, you will get everything that you need. But you got to put this stuff into action. You got to live it, and it takes more than just listening and talking. It's actually something you got to do. So I'll explain to you what I'm doing here, and then if there's any more questions, I'll answer them. If not, then I will call it a day. It's tax time. What that means for you is 50% special on all of my products and services that you get through this courses.thunderwizard.com link, except for books and DVDs, which are Amazon and the Patreon subscription. Everything else, I have reduced prices by sometimes 2/3. And that is because even though the Thunder Wizard is a very accomplished spiritual practitioner and teacher, he is an idiot when it comes to accounting. And so I have this huge tax bill that I have to pay, and I need money to pay it. So if you want to keep me off the streets, and if there's something that you've wanted that you've been either saving up for or waiting for a special, now is the time. You can clean up. So if you go to courses.thunderwizard.com, you're going to see all of my products and services. And on there, you're going to see a bunch of them will have a discount attached to them. Now, just because it doesn't say 50% discount on the link, don't let that stop you from going to the link and checking it out. I'm going to walk through all of the ones that I know of. So first off, we have the Becoming an Immortal video series. Now, this is something that I made a while ago because people were wanting to know about an esoteric Taoist spiritual practice called the Method of Holding the Three Ones, which allows you to become an immortal. Now, from the Taoist perspective, an immortal doesn't mean that you live forever in this body or that you achieve enlightenment. It means that you raise your energy vibration in your body and all the cells of your body to such a degree that you phase out of existence and you become a god. For them, that was one way that they could achieve enlightenment, because then you don't have to be reincarnated. You can remember who you are and what your past life was, and keep all of your memories, and you can become a god. That is the Becoming an Immortal series that you'll find on there. Second one, this one I get asked for this all the time. This is the 2-for-1 certification special. And that one, I give you 2 certifications for the Vedic astrology, the Thunder Wizard Vedic astrology, and the Thunder Wizard rune reading certification. Now, I can't even begin to tell you how many hundreds of hours of teaching are on these videos, and normally you would have to get them each separately. But now you can just pay for one and you get both certifications. When you become certified, which means that you've studied all the videos, you take a very simple test with me to let me know that you know the material, then you will become certified. You will become an official Thunder Wizard, either both Vedic astrologer and rune reader. You will get your own web page. I will put you on the pages for that, astrology.thunderwizard.com. You will be one of my astrologers. And for the runereadings.thunderwizard.com, you'll be one of my rune readers. You can use that page for yourself. You can go and advertise your business. You can, if you give me different links, I'll put links on your specific page. Just the service of putting up a page for you is worth the price of the certification. And so you've got that going on. We have the, I've reduced the distance energy cleansing service that I did. Remember, I was giving it away, almost giving it away as I was introducing it. Then I raised the price significantly. I've dropped that down again, almost back to where it was in the beginning. The all of your Vedic astrology, I'm going back to I'm taking off like 70% of what I used to charge for my readings. You can get an astrological reading from me. Let's see, the 4 tools to exit the matrix, that is also still at a savings level. The 5 rules to master the matrix, I've cut prices on that. The career consultations, to get a career consultation from me, I have slashed the prices on those as well. All of those links for all of those services and those teachings can be found at courses.thunderwizard.com. So, even though, as I said, many of you have thanked me, your teachings have saved my life, I've learned a lot and all of that, and I enjoy all those compliments, and I think that I've come up with some pretty wonderful and innovative ways at looking at traditional spirituality. But, as I said, when it comes to managing my money, I'm an idiot. And so for that reason, you get to save a bunch of money now. Now, as soon as I have enough money to pay my taxes, my prices are going to go back to where they normally are. So I can't guarantee you how long this special is going to last, but take advantage of it now. If there's something that you've wanted to learn from me, other than the apprenticeship or the books and DVDs you get on Amazon, almost everything else, the prices have been slashed significantly. So take advantage of them. Go to courses.thunderwizard.com, shop to your heart's content, and help me to pay my taxes. Thanks a lot. Hey there, pay attention. This is Arnold. I have a very important announcement. I am going to be running for President of the United States for 2020. Listen to me now and vote for me later. Hi, this is Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I'm going to be running for the President of the United States of the world. Listen, the United States is the most pumped country in the world. We have the most pumped people. We have the most pumped democracy the world has ever seen. We used to be so pumped in the world. Everybody had respect for us. My God, we were so totally pumped. Nobody would dare look us in the eyes. We won every single war there ever was. We won the War of Independence. We said to you, hey, England, you British Empire, forget about you. We are more pumped than you. And we won that war. And then there was the First World War. We won that. Europe was fighting with itself. European countries were saying, hey, I don't like you. Hey, I don't like you. They're fighting like that. And then America, looking from across the ocean, said, hey, what are you guys doing? What's wrong with you? Come on, knock it off. And we came over there and we won that war. And then there was the Second World War. And it was all the same kind of things going on. Europe is fighting with each other and the Nazis are taking over all of Europe. And then they start bombing London. And we're watching. And then finally the Japanese come to us and they slap us in the face. And we go, hey, what's going on here? What's wrong with you guys? And we went to the whole world and we pumped and we flexed in front of the whole world. And we won that war too. But that's not what's happening anymore. The United States is not as pumped as it used to be. Nobody respects us like they used to before. Now we are old and flabby and out of shape. We put a big smile on our face and say, hey, we're the United States. Yeah, we're still pumped. But we got this guy running the whole country who thinks that he can just grab the whole world by the private parts. And the world is going, hey, you cannot grab me there anymore. I don't think you are pumped. And they're not listening to us. But I'm telling you now, and you are going to vote for me later, I'm going to come in there and I'm going to make the world a better place because I am going to pump up the United States one more time. And I know, yeah, they say, Arnold, you cannot be president. You were not born here. Hey, it doesn't matter if this guy who becomes the worst kind of idiot in the world goes around grabbing the world by its private parts. This guy can become president. I'm going to say, as Lord Pindar, ruler of the universe, I am going to say that I, Arnold Schwarzenegger, can become president if I decide to. So my new catchphrase is, make America pumped again. But in reality, we're going to make the world pumped again. And when I become president, I am going to legislate. The first thing that I do when I get into office, I'm going to sign the thing, I'm going to hold it up to the camera, and then everybody is required to go to thunderwizard.com and they're going to subscribe. They're going to hit the bell button. They're going to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Then they're going to go to thunderwizard.com website. And then they're going to subscribe there too. And then they're going to go to courses.thunderwizard.com and they're going to buy all of the products, all of the books, all of the services that this guy, I'm telling you, the Shaminator, that guy is really, really pumped in the spirit. He's going to pump you up so good spiritually, you're not even going to believe it. So that's it. Get ready, because here I come, world. The world is going to get pumped again, and there's nothing you can do about it. All right, I'll talk to you later. All right then. No more questions? Time for me to go. I'm going to go take a sleep now and get a massage. And then I come back some more later. All right, my friends. Thank you so much. See you around.